ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतंगमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Good morning. Some good rain at long last. The parched soil has become wet a little. Rain is sufficient to breathe life into the crop plants. Farmers must be rejoicing, so we also must rejoice. Right. Please see page number 64. The first quote in the page. This life is short. The vanities of the world are transient, but they alone live who live for others. The rest are more dead than alive. If the Lord grants that you can help any one of His children, blessed you are. Do not think too much of yourselves. Blessed you are that that privilege was given to you when others had it not. Do it only as a worship. The biggest problem with human societies today is we have not figured out the next step in evolution. There is no species, there is no animal which is as confused as this human species is. అర్థమైందా నేను చెప్తుంది? నా భాష అర్థమవుతుందా? There is no other animal which is as confused as this human species is. Because we have not figured out the next step in evolution. You all have studied Darwin's theory of evolution. Darwin said that from lower species, higher species, from lower animals have evolved, higher, and then the highest animal, that is this, the top of the pyramid. First there was single-celled animal, amoeba. From amoeba to complexity has increased. There was single cell, then multicellular, then tissues, then organs, then more sophisticated organ, then the most complex machine of life, that is the human life. So fine, Darwin said that from lower species to higher species. Then what next after human being? Human being will evolve into another species after a million years, a billion years. Then a human being who will be there on the earth after a billion years will have 4 hands, 2 heads, or 10 heads like Ravana. What will happen to the human being, human species next? What is the next step in evolution? There, our rishis had the clarity. The organic evolution has stopped here. There is no further organic evolution. When I said organic evolution, not that this human species will transform into some other form or some other being after a million or billion years. Organic evolution has ceased. Hereafter, it is intellectual and spiritual evolution. People like Buddha, Vivekananda, Shankaracharya, all the mystics and prophets, they all have attained perfection, right? So here, from this species, it is possible to attain perfection. A dog cannot attain perfection. Dog has to evolve into human being, and then only it is possible to explore the scope for perfection. Directly, a dog cannot reach God, cannot attain perfection, because it has to evolve to the level of human being, and from here, you have to work out your salvation. That is given only to human being. So there is no further organic evolution. It's hereafter it is intellectual and spiritual evolution. And people, we have not figured it out now. That's why we are confused. See, once the basic necessities of life are satisfied, what you should do, people don't know. That is the only problem. You see, people are amassing wealth and accumulating more properties and competition, more accumulation, more acquisition, but they are not happy. They won't be happy because you have not known the next step in evolution. That's the biggest problem. Hereafter, it is intellectual. For an animal, there is no scope for cultivating the intellect. There is no scope for evolution of thought. Even among human beings, we see daily wage laborers, so many of them. Only physical labor. Really unfortunate, right? Because in their birth, there is no scope for intellectual evolution. We have an assistant in kitchen. Sometimes I tell him, he does so much of physical labor, washing dishes, cleaning, mopping, everything. I said, seeing his physical labor. See, I also have to do, it would be good exercise. I also have body, you have body, we have muscle. So I will do a little of your work. I will put a book in your hand, children book, okay? You just read it. He is only 5th class pass. He said, no, I said, I will not do it. I said that half a day, half an hour, I will do your work. You just take this book and read. My concern is that he will also grow intellectually. Very simple. He will also evolve at the level of thought. But he doesn't relish it. Only physical labor, no scope for intellectual evolution in this birth. It's so simple. He cannot read few lines also. I mean, in the sense that if it is English, finding it very difficult to send SMS and all, he cannot read also. Just for little literacy is good for him. You will grow, read a book, I will just help you, but he doesn't want. See, there are people, there is no scope for intellectual growth in the people. And there are good number of people, intellectually they are saturated, but there is no spiritual evolution, the next step and higher step. They don't relish meditation, they don't relish prayer, they don't serve others, help others. That's why Swami is saying, they alone live. Who live for others, the rest are more dead than alive. Why should you live for others? Why should you serve others? That leads to, your intellectual and spiritual evolution. You will grow spiritually, you will become a Buddha. So most of the people, they don't have this idea that why should I serve others? I have so much, but still I want to enjoy it by myself. but I don't want to share it. I don't want to distribute it. I don't want to, help others. I don't want to bring joy in others because I have not figured out the next step in evolution. So still I'm in the process of acquisition and accumulation and thinking that it will bring me happiness and joy. It will never bring you. That is the only problem. Because of this attitude, because you have not figured out the next step in evolution, what is happening? You just see, we're on a rampage. Country versus country in terms of more GDP, more money, more weapons. And the process is destroying nature. And so much so that we are endangering ourselves. చివరికి the last species to become extinct from the planet Earth is human species only. మన యొక్క మనుగడను ప్రశ్నార్థకంగా మనమే చేసుకుంటున్నాం. ఎందుకంటే because you have not figured out the next step in evolution. You provide basic necessities to all the population and then afterwards you tell them how to cultivate the intellect and spirit. You have to read books. You have to go for intellectual expansion and also spiritual expansion, self-control. The greater the self-control you practice, the greater the human being you will become. You just see what he did, people like Vivekananda. Did he accumulate wealth? Did he build power? No, because they worked upon themselves for intellectual and spiritual evolution day in and day out. And we consider Mahatmas. So every one of us can become a Mahatma like that. But there are people, greed, all this corruption and greed is because you have not figured out the next step in evolution. You won't become happy. Rather, you're working against yourself. You are working against your own interest. Not that you are destroying nature and society as such, but you are destroying yourself. You are working against your own interest because you don't know what is the next step in evolution. That is the big problem in human societies in the world today. They are not actually going more for spiritual and intellectual evolution, just like any other creature actually. We are going for creature comforts, more technology, more money, more comfort. This body, what is this body? Lump of flesh. It's constantly changing. That's why Swami is saying the vanities of the world are transient. This world is unreal because this world is temporary. The physical body for which you are seeking comfort, it is there today and tomorrow it is not there. Body is so fragile. ఇవాళ ఉండి రేపు పోయే శరీరం కోసం మరీ అంత తాపత్రయం ఎందుకు పడుతున్నావు? దానికి ఎంత కంఫర్ట్ కావాలనుకుంటున్నావు? The whole civilization you just click it. The whole objective is to have more comfort for the physical body, but that is temporary, that is transient. As a human being, you have higher possibility, that is intellectual and spiritual evolution. The other two dimensions you don't want to explore, then you have become stagnant. మానవ సమాజాలు ఇక్కడ స్టాగ్నెంట్ అయింది. దట్ ఈస్ ద ఓన్లీ ప్రాబ్లమ్. దేర్ ఇస్ నో అదర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్. దట్స్ వాట్ స్వామి సేస్. లివ్ ఫర్ అదర్స్. ఇన్ ద ప్రాసెస్ యూ విల్ డిస్కవర్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. యూ విల్ బికమ్ గాడ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ ఫర్ టుడే. హ్యావ్ నైస్ డే.